Let me ask you something very important. Who do you want to learn from? What would you actually say to that question? I would say you want to learn from someone who has accomplished what you want to accomplish in your life. So let's say that you want to have a bunch of money and a bunch of girls. Well, go talk to Dan Bilzerian. He has a bunch of money and a bunch of girls, and he'll be honest about what that's like. Let's say you want to rise in the corporate ladder and be at the top. You want to be the CEO. We'll find out through podcasts and interviews what it's really like. If you can actually talk to that guy, even better. This is going to save you the monumental error of working for years and years and getting to what you think will make you happy, to what you think you want. This is a goal you set and you reach it and you're like, this isn't what I thought it was going to be. That's one of the biggest errors we can make in life. I think it's very poorly understood. People are like, oh, set big goals and go for them. What about set the right goals? What you think the goal should be when you're in third grade typically isn't the goal that you think it should be when you're older because you don't have those life lessons. So why are less people not looking to talk to the people who've achieved what they want to achieve, to be sure that's what they want to dedicate their life to do? Have you seen the Netflix series In the Mind of Bill Gates? It's a little 3-part series, little hour-long shows. There was something at the end of it that really stood out to me. Okay, Bill Gates, what has he accomplished? Now, a few things. Started a business from scratch, Microsoft.
In 1971, Bill Gates invented Microsoft.
One of the richest men in the world. I know that fluctuates, but he's got a lot of dough, got into philanthropy. He's done a lot of things. He's at the top of the mountain, you could say. No matter what your specific goals are, he's achieved a lot of things that probably have some commonalities with what you want to achieve. Money, first and foremost. Most people think that's the most important thing. If you have money struggles, there is nothing more important than making money. I completely agree with that. But when you get to billions of dollars, what does that actually do if you aspire for that? So Bill Gates is someone that we should definitely listen to. And there's one line, I kind of listened to it. It was the end of episode 3, and I kind of heard it in passing. And then as the credits rolled, I was like, whoa, that's really deep. That's something that he wanted. It's actually his mother saying it. He wanted at the end of the series because it wraps everything up so clearly. And this is where Tony Robbins gets it wrong. Tony Robbins has spoken with so many different people and he has great insights on human mentality that makes people happy. But even he gets this wrong. So what do most people say? The common truism, money won't make you happy. Well, it will get you out of pain if you don't have any money. So to a point, it will make you happy. There's no way around that. I think people actually discount that. Like, oh, don't worry about money. Yeah, good luck if you don't have any. It's the most important thing in the world. You can't survive without it. So you got to get to a point. But then the truism is people that make all this dough, like, it's not what I thought it was going to be. Okay, a lot of people say that. What does Tony Robbins say? He says, it's not what you get, it's what you give. Okay, so now he made it, he made all these money, all these different things, he has a business, and now he's like, it's what you give. But there's another level to that. It stops short. Tony Robbins doing some great things. He has some Thanksgiving thing where he gives out like 1 million turkeys every year and things like that. I'm not saying that's not good, but I'm saying the ultimate fulfillment is one step beyond that. It's what Bill Gates said. It's what Bill Gates' mom said. And it's this one line. I don't think I'll ever forget this line. I want you to think about it as I say it. So it's not what you get. It's not even what you give. Okay? Before I say that last part, I want to point out, Bill Gates transitioned after he made his billions of dollars to doing philanthropy full time. He makes what Tony Robbins gives back as far as monetary amounts, pennies, right? He's given millions, tens of millions of dollars, fighting malaria, doing all this stuff with new types of fuel and new types of energy. His whole life went to just giving back. Do you think that's someone we should maybe listen to see, is he happy when he's gone to this giving back? He says no. Not saying that's not a good thing, but just like money, that's a good thing too. But that in itself isn't enough. So let me say it again. I'm going to try to get the whole thing out this time without interrupting myself. It's not what you can get. It's not what you can give. It's who you become. Think about that for a minute. That's a deep line. And I want to talk to you about how I've applied that to my life in the last 2 weeks, spending a lot more time than I probably should thinking about that line. Let me jump in here real quick and give an actual example of how this plays out. So think about somebody who earned their money in a way that they weren't proud of. Maybe they were moving drugs or doing something else illegal, and they get to a point in their life that they realize that's not who they want to be. So they give all the money away and they're still miserable and not happy with their lives, okay? So Tony Robbins says they should be happy because they made a bunch of money and they gave it all away and helped all these people with the money they gave away, but that's not the case because they weren't proud of who they became. Now let's talk a little bit more about this impacted my life. I want every single decision that I make to be filtered through that lens. Is it taking me closer to who I want to become? That's going to be different for everybody. Who I want to become is different than who you want to become and anything else. But what's important is it's true to who you want to become. Anything that you do that takes you away from that, what if you can make a quick $5,000? You feel a little bit shady about it. Don't do it because you're going to get that dough. And then unless you need to survive, I'm saying think it through. I'm not saying what to do. I'm saying think it through that lens. So I think a lot of people discount how important it is how you feel about it. A lot of people are like, oh yeah, $5,000, if I get a little shady, yeah, I can deal with that. You have to live with that. People always ask, how do you get a really rock solid confidence? You see everything that you do, and everything you do that doesn't take you a closer step to who you want to become or is true with who you currently are and want to be, that takes away your confidence. If you're doing all this shady stuff, your subconscious sees it. You're not tricking anyone, so you can be like, oh, shut this subconscious off while I make this shady deal, and then I'm going to be the confident man. No, people who are rock solid with their confidence are completely in control of all their decisions, and they make them based on their core values. They're taking a step closer to who they want to become. Let me tell you how I've applied this in my life. So have you seen how every single point of service system, basically it's an iPad where you check out at the coffee shop or anything like that, every single one of these now has spots for tipping, okay? So most people, when the dude spins the thing around and it says, do you want to leave a tip? It doesn't matter what they're doing. You know, they could be in a position that is not even a service position checking out. People feel what? They feel social pressure to tip. Oh, there's someone looking over my shoulder. What if they see that I'm a cheapskate? Should I tip? I actually have beef with that because I don't like the fact that it puts social pressure on people to tip in situations that you absolutely should not tip. But there has been some gray situations in my life where I'm like, should I tip or should I not? Like maybe I should. And now this is a little subtle nuance of how this has impacted me. Now I think about, is this going to take me a step closer to who I want to become? If I'm going to even have to think for a minute that I feel like a cheapskate, not because the person behind me, not because the person that I may or may not tip, I don't care what they think, I care what I think. How am I going to feel if I don't tip them? Well, maybe they're in a position and it just doesn't cause you a tip. Then I'm going to feel really good about not tipping them because I don't think that justifies a tip. And if there's any gray area, well, I'm going to tip them because a couple bucks is worth a lot less than me having that rock solid confidence that can't be faked. It's not worth it for me to save a couple bucks. Oh, I'll put this towards my coffee tomorrow. I won't feel bad about buying my coffee. And then all day you walk around weak and unconfident. No, and that is how it works. These little things add up. So I wanted to give you that example of my life, and I want you to think about everything that you do, every decision you make where there's ambiguity, where it's actually a decision. You know, you got to get up when the alarm goes off to go to work. There's no decision there. When there is a decision that you have to think it through, that means there's some ambiguity. That means it's a gray space, a gray area where you need to bring in all the different variables to make the decision. Do not discount the impact, the variable about how you will feel about it, about where will it take you as far as your integrity, who you want to become, the person that you are, the person that you want to be. I would encourage you, try for a week. Anytime there's any gray area, make the decision towards integrity and becoming the person you want to become, and then look back at the end of the week and see how you feel about it. If you feel like, you know what, I heard what Barron said, I did that, and I think the $15 or the $25 or having to drive this way, I'm not thinking of all the implications it could be, wasn't worth it. I don't think it was worth my confidence. Fine, you tried it. But I have a lot of confidence that when you do, you'll be like, absolutely. I feel great about it. I feel strong. And you know what this is going to do? This isn't just like confidence, like, oh, what's your self-worth? when you approach people that you don't know. A lot of people have a hard time coming up with things to say when they talk to people they don't know. How do I go up and say? It's not the things you say, it's your confidence. You're gonna go up and you're gonna more easily strike up a conversation, not because you got the perfect sentence to say, not because you got the right sport coat on, it's because you're a confident person. You know your value, your social value goes up as your confidence goes up. So you don't even have to try to learn all these tactics. Tactics are important, and if you truly don't know what to say, well, then you need to learn what to say. But you could say the exact same thing, and if your confidence is waning at a 5 or 6 versus at 8 or 9, people are gonna receive you more because people wanna talk to people with high social status, with high social value. It may sound kind of cheap, and it may be a way you don't want it to do, but that's how things work. We see study after study that show people with high perceived status get treated differently. Too bad if you don't like it. That's the way the real world is. Don't stick your head in the sand. Realize this. Start to make decisions based on your integrity and take steps to becoming the person that you want to become, because as Bill Gates says, it's the most important thing in the world.
Tell me, Stan, what's your favorite food? Pizza.